Hello, Taurus. This is your weekly reading for May 15th to 21st. I hope things are going amazingly for you. I hope it's spring where you are, like it is where I am, and that you are experiencing some delightfully warm weather. I love it. I live for it. I'm not a cold weather kind of a person, although I know some of you love that sort of thing. From the stories I hear about all the happiness about skiing and doing other outdoor activities. I don't mind doing things outside. I mean, that's all fine and well, but I would definitely have to be bundled because I don't like to be cold. I'm always good for a half an hour snowman. I mean, but that's all the guarantee I'm going to give here. Once in a blue moon, I'll go farther than that. So anyway, I'm happy I don't have to be bundled right now and that things are kind of looking up. Sunny. I like the sun. Although I am also a creature of the night, so go figure. Okay, so I hope things are great for you guys and that we're going to have a good reading here because that's always nice. I just did the Aries reading and I'm Aries, and the Aries reading was nothing to be jumping up and down about, although the sun did appear in it in the gloom, so I'm latching on to that. So I guess some of you are having your birthday this month, so that's fun and exciting. So I hope you're all enjoying all of that wonderful stuff. So I'm trying to remember how I did the reading. I just did. I'm just going to pull 6 cards and we'll just look at that and then maybe clarify further if needed. Oh, there's the sun again. Wow. This is crazy. Okay, so when I shuffle, I don't just do the little shuffling at the beginning here. When the recording is over, I then take probably a good 10 minutes to shuffle the cards. And when I put the cards together, like say this is the reading, I'll take cards and put them on each of these cards so that they're already split apart. And then I'll shuffle, 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 shuffle for about 10 minutes because I really want every reading to be completely different, fresh, and new. And then I do the little bit of shuffling that you see here. So at that point, things should be pretty well shuffled. Well, I kid you not, in the last reading, the sun did appear. These cards didn't. But when I clarified a card that was in this corner, all 3 of these cards came up in this order. So that's kind of interesting. But it just goes to show that so often when something is happening worldwide or something, we all start getting similar readings, which I find bizarre, but also a thing that happens. So I'm not going to read this exactly the same way because when I flipped these cards for the Aries reading, there was the 3 of Swords in this corner. So this was a clarification of what that was about, or that plus the 9 of Swords with it. So let's look at this. Okay, so we've got the Death card, which is all about massive change. And I don't know if you're finding this. I'm going to bet you are. Everybody I know practically is going through some kind of massive change right now. So many people have had either job losses, or they've gone remote, or something that's affecting the workplace. That's huge. Also, because of the way things are right now, there's all this difference in socializing, and some people are quite isolated. That is not the case for everybody. It certainly depends on where you are, what your attitude about this stuff is, what's going on in your own life. Some people have like amazing networks of family and friends who are just proceeding as normal. But for a lot of people, there is some extreme isolation. And those are the ones I worry about. I mean, if you like that sort of thing, because some people love being alone and love not having to go to work anymore, more power to you. But most people I'm hearing from are not too happy about what's going on right now. So as a result of those changes, there are definitely monetary changes, which are not always all that great. But let's assume the change is something else. I mean, obviously this is a general reading. There are many of you and you'll have different circumstances. So it is a period of great change. The world is going through a lot of stuff right now, um, a lot of negative stuff, but out of the negative, sometimes it spawns the positive. So use this time to regroup, to recreate, to create for the first time, to come up with new ideas. So here's the Hermit, okay? So for you guys, Taurus, you guys are really great at creating a wonderful environment. I mean, I know I tend to generalize, and of course there are exceptions. Maybe you're not into that at all, but it is sort of a general Taurian thing to like home, family, and nice home environment, that sort of thing. So if that is your case, use this time to reflect and regroup and go within yourself, find ways to make yourself happy. I know you can do it. And those around you, you can be the source of a lot. And as I see, you're doing some serious reflection here, trying to figure out what the next step is, looking at the past, looking to the future, trying to figure things out. I think we all kind of are, but maybe you guys are a little bit more cerebral on the home front with this kind of stuff. Ultimately, this week, you're going to have some happiness. It's the sun. Maybe whatever the change is going to be something that gives you some real happiness. You guys like your stability usually. So a lot of people I've talked to, especially people who had to work long hours and were always out of the house and could never manage time as well as they'd like, who are now home and spending more time with their kids, they're looking at that as a positive. Although some of them are working from home and it's not easy to work from home with kids all around you, but you guys are pretty good at managing the home front and figuring things out in that way. So I think you're going to be fine, and I think you're going to find some real joy here, real unbridled childlike joy that is hard to find as an adult. So this is really good. And this is good because all of this reflection and stuff will result in something happening that's very positive. You guys are earthy. You like your planning, and when you do this and you really think things out, it enables you to plan and know where you're heading, and that is very good for you. The Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is all about action. Action, 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 which is fantastic. So maybe you have something you want to put into action and you need the Queen of Wands for this. Maybe she's a real person that you know. If you do know this person, she's probably very fun, very social, a doer, somebody very positive, upbeat, really proactive, probably quite physical. So maybe this is who you're married to. Maybe this is who you live with. Maybe this is your sister, your best friend, whoever. But if that's the case, they can be a really positive influence when you're trying to put something into action. Maybe you're going to start a new business, and that's what the metamorphosis here is all about. Maybe you're going to, really take action and start something up in the face of all craziness and make it work. Maybe what all this thought and reflection has produced, something that you're actually going to put into action. That's exciting. That's exciting if that's the case. So I'm going to clarify what's going on here, because it can be health or money that's not going right, or it can even just be that you feel kind of left out in the cold. A lot of people seem to be getting this card. Sometimes right now I think it has to do with the isolation. I have a daughter who reads tarot cards also, and she doesn't like when there are any parts of the reading that are about like current events. Okay, so she always tries to make every reading perfectly individualized, and I totally understand that, and I'm not trying to not do that, but this is a general reading. It's not for one singular person, so it's harder to do that. But also I do find that the worldwide situations reflect so strongly on so many people. It's actually, in one way, it's amazing, and in another way, it makes total sense. So take that as you will. But we're going to just try to see what this card is telling us. This doesn't make any sense. I think I clarified some. Oh no, it was okay. I'm trying to remember in the last reading. This card was present in this position, I think. And then these two cards were pulled on a part where I was saying, okay, we're going to move into the future. So it's almost the same reading. It's like no matter how much I shuffled, it doesn't matter at all. And I guess that's what is true. I mean, that's where I can know always that no matter what I do, the cards are going to assert themselves in the way that they want to. I know that sounds kind of crazy, okay, because it's based on a lot of things, but it just seems like no matter how much I think I can control it by shuffling those cards, by separating those cards out and by putting cards in between them and then shuffling for 10 minutes and then shuffling some more, it doesn't matter. If they're going to come out a certain way, they're going to come out that way. And as much as we can say it's random, it cannot be random because there are cards I never get. Me, when I'm having a reading, and each individual person, and then I get the same cards over and over and over and over. I get my favorite card almost every reading, and I have about three to four other cards I almost always get in every reading. So it has nothing to do with odds or math. It's pretty interesting. So this card, okay, so you are feeling something this week that is about either missed opportunity or you feel like you've lost something. Maybe it is this financial loss. And you're really going to be incredibly upset over it, almost like mourning. I'm hoping it's not too massive. But even if it is, remember that there is a lot that you still have. There are these two cups standing behind you. And this is what's interesting. This card was in the last reading with this card. And I said, look, you've got these two cups standing up. And here it is. It's the Two of Cups. So because this card is about a really positive union, a very special relationship, it doesn't have to be a husband or wife or, live in love or any of that stuff or boyfriend. It doesn't have to be about that. This can be a card that is often a very important business relationship. It can be your best friend. It can be whatever. But I have a feeling that when all of this is going on, whatever it is, this is going to sustain you. This person's going to have your back no matter what. And I'd like to hear about it. I really would. My email is below. So if you want to tell me about what your situation is, I would be very interested. So this card is what's fated. F-A-T-E-D, fated. A lot of times people say when they're reading the cards, they'll say this is a card that means that whatever's going to happen happens. You don't have any control over anything, or this at least. I don't believe that necessarily. I think that, well, I mean, there are things you have no control over, obviously. There are certain situations. It's fairly rare, but, I mean, there are situations that will happen and be cataclysmic. But I find that this card is a lucky card. So I'm going to tell you, you've got some good luck going on. In spite of this, in spite of whatever the loss is. Maybe the luck is this person. Maybe this person is coming in new this week, and that's going to be your luck. But let's see how this plays out as we move into the following week. What is up with you, my Taurus? Damn it. This card again. This card was also in the last reading. So this card is all about heartache. But I'm going to guess that this heartache has to do with this monetary loss. Sorry, my allergies are still kicking around. And I have the window open because as much as I don't want to be breathing in all the pollen, I do like some fresh air. So, okay. So, the monetary loss is going to really give you some torment. That's what I'm seeing here. Very upsetting. Sometimes this card can be a carryover for something that's happened already. Like baggage you're carrying with you. Sometimes about a lost love, that kind of thing. Excuse me. So I'm not sure because this reading is for multiple people. You would not believe how different it is when I can do a personal reading, because then I can get some of your feelings about the situation. And I don't just mean spoken feelings. Sometimes these feelings that you will have when I'm doing a reading, they're almost tangible. They're like, I can only describe it as there's like a wave of current in the air. It almost feels like something you can grab. It's a really weird feeling, but it just shows how much energy we're full of, and how much of that you give off into the world and how powerful it actually is. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking there is this past hurt. I mean, we all have past hurts. That's not really a brain flash here. But because this card, we sometimes call it the wounded warrior, he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing. You're doing whatever's correct here. You're working, you're trying to create things, you're in action, you're doing whatever you're supposed to be doing. But you're a little defensive and a little sad, a little hurt, a little bit defensive. And it's because of the past. There's some pain here. I always like to tell people to find a way to get rid of it, but that's easier said than done, isn't it? But you can. I mean, you can. Maybe it just needs a little more time. But then here you've got, again, the cups and the cups, this celebration. Whatever's going on with this person looks very, very happy and exciting, and there's going to be this celebration. If you're starting a new business, maybe that's the reason to celebrate. If you've got this special friendship, this special relationship, maybe even a marriage, something good. Maybe you're going to come out of all of this pain and whatever. I'm hoping this isn't too bad a monetary thing. I would tell you, and I will tell you quite directly, I wouldn't make any huge purchases this week. I wouldn't do anything, you're not absolutely rock solid on with money. I would be very careful with money this week. And any decisions regarding money, I would be incredibly careful. And also, if you have any health-related concerns, I would be like a research freak and use great caution about doing anything hasty. So that's your reading, Taurus. I hope you like it. I hope it makes sense and helps you. And I look forward to seeing you again, hopefully very, very soon. Take care.